Hi, today I want to share some reflection that we did recently based on some feedback we received. I love to receive feedback. So i- if you don't agree with something I say, or you think something I'm saying is wrong or could be improved or is missing some points, please do not hesitate to reach out. But today I want to talk about an article that we wrote recently and we published it a couple of weeks ago. Is about code refactoring with AI. Now, in this article, we try a few things and discuss the results about using LLMs to guide refactorings. And among other things, we mention some specificities about we write too many things in articles about working with legacy languages. Now, this is the refined version. The previous one had a few defects, let's say. And so we since review it and improve it. But let me tell more about what we got wrong. In the original article, we very briefly mentioned the fact that there are some LLMs that claim to be particularly trained on legacy code, on a lot of languages, including some legacy languages. The problem, as someone pointed out to us, is that if you look into the details, these legacy languages are typically widely underrepresented because there are some languages uh, for which in the training we consider a few thousands of files, while for other languages we consider tens of millions or more. And this is reflect reality that reality is that we have code that is publicly available that is mostly written with modern languages. In other words, if you go on GitHub, you will find tens of millions of projects written with Java, JavaScript, and Python, and basically no projects written with stuff like RPG or COBOL or SAS. Now, this is something that we also experience because we have looked for a long time for publicly available RPG applications so that we could run some analysis tools and show the results. And there are none. I mean, the only examples that are available for RPG are small libraries, utilities, hello words, examples. This is not at all representative of a real application that companies out there are using. And this is true in general for most of the code, because yes, we have millions of Java projects, but they are typically open source libraries that present some differences with the kind of enterprise software that is written within companies. So even for languages for which we have a lot of examples, they are not necessarily the same examples that are representative of the kind of code that you may be working with. So that is something we should consider. But for legacy languages, we mostly have very poor or limited examples. And so this is something to consider that, yeah, sometimes we take for granted that all information is out there, or that whoever is training the models is able to get access legally or illegally to all sort of information, doing sort of things that will land you or me in jail, but not that apparently. Because the law is the same for everybody, right? And so, but even considering, let's say, legal flexibility, there is simply no code that is publicly available for certain languages. And so without that code, it's very hard to train LLM. So trainings, LLMs that know how to deal appropriately with legacy code requires having access to such code. I think certain companies are building this valuable resource, so this catalog of code bases that are representative of the real code, but in general, it's not publicly available, and so LLMs cannot take advantage of that. So yeah, just food for thoughts. And so thank you to the person who shared this feedback, and I hope to receive more and more feedback. So as I said, do not hesitate. And if you don't agree with something I say, write a comment, send me a message, drop me an email. I'm happy to be corrected and learn and improve. Thank you. Bye.